Now that we have learned different methods of integration, that means beginning we have learned the first formula method, 25 standard integrals were given. Then we have learned substitution method. Then we have learned partial fractions, then by parts rule. Then how to identify when a function is given, which is the method to be chosen. So let us make a flow chart. Okay, so we are given an integral I to be integrated. A function is given. So first our question will be, is it standard? That means the formula in the form of a formula we have learned, is it standard? If the question is yes, standard, you have identified, then use the formula, corresponding formula. Use the formula and get the answer directly. If it is not standard, if your answer is no, it is not in the any one of the 25 or 26 formulas, so what is to be done? Now you ask, then is it a product of two functions? So is it a product of two functions? That is the next question. If the answer is yes, then how do you identify? It can be, product can be in the form of f of x into f dash x, or that function raised to n into f dash x. If it is in these two cases, what we will do to convert it into the standard format, put f of x is equal to t, then that will be converted into the first form. Or in other cases, it can be f of phi x into its derivative will be given, phi dash x. Then in that case, what is to be done? Put phi of x is equal to t, then this will be converted into the first format. Otherwise, it can be a product of, that product can be product of two trigonometric functions. That means it can be the product of sine and cos, or it can be sine and sine, or cos and sine. So what can be done then? Two sine cos formulas, two sine A cos B is there, so two sine A sine B, or two cos A sine B. So use that trigonometric identity. Use the trigonometric identity to convert it into the sum or difference of two terms, two trigonometric functions. 2 sin A cos B, 2 cos A sin B, etc. That formula. Then if it is not that, any one of these, then you check whether is it a product of two functions, in which you can use the isolate format, by parts formula. Then if it is isolate, you can use by parts formula. First function into integral of the second and all, or in that also we have one more classification under isolate, that is it can be e raised to x into f of x plus f dash x. Then we have the answer, you remember, it is e raised to x into f of x plus c. So these are the different ways if it is a product of two functions. Okay, now it can also be, if it is no, suppose it is not the product of two functions, it is no, then you will ask, is it a quotient? That means, is it a rational function? The I is it a rational function? That means it is px by qx. Is it a rational function? That is the next question. If the answer is yes, then what are the different cases? It can be that the substitution method. It can be f dash x by fx, that is numerator is the derivative of denominator, or f dash x itself by fx can be fx raised to n can come. In both the cases, what we will do, both the cases put f of x is equal to t, then this will be converted into the first standard format. Or it can be even just like it can be phi dash x by f of phi x. Then phi of x is equal to t. Then it will be converted into the standard form. Now another thing is rational function. Can we apply partial fractions method? When we apply partial fractions method, when It is a proper rational function. It is px plus q by numerator can be a product of distinct linear factors or repeated linear factors. We have 4 different types we have already discussed. That means we are split. So if it is partial fractions, so we have to split it using the method of partial fractions. Split it into terms. Split into different terms and that will be converted into the first formula type. Okay, then otherwise if it is not partial fractions, you check whether it is a formula you have learned, that is it can be quadratic formula, perfect squares, 1 by x square plus a square or 1 by x square minus a square, or it can be after converting you are getting from this 1 by ax square plus bx plus c, it can be, or then what we will do, 1 by ax plus ax square plus bx plus c, make it into this perfect square format, change it into, make it as a perfect square. Then otherwise it can also be linear by quadratic. It can be px plus q, that also we had discussed, px plus q by ax square plus bx plus c. Then what we will do, we change numerator, use px plus q is equal to a into derivative of denominator, a into derivative of denominator plus b. Okay, so these are the possibilities. So, okay, if it is a rational function, these are the 4 possibilities. Otherwise, if it is no, it is not a rational function, it is no, the next question is, and other possibilities, is it an irrational function? Is it an irrational function? Is it an irrational function? Yes. If it is an irrational function, there are 2 possibilities. That means check whether it is, you have already learned the formula root of x square plus a square or x square minus a square, or it can be 1 by root of a square minus x square type, or it can be converting this, you have 1 by root of ax square plus bx plus c, or it can be just like this, px plus q, linear by root quadratic, same method, root of ax square plus bx plus c. If it is not an irrational function, then it can be that formula, integral root of x square plus or minus a square, or root of a square minus x square. So your integral, the function will be any one of these. So these are the only methods we have learned in the integration process. So your integrand to be integrated will be surely in any of these types. So by step you go by this method. You can identify, but you should be thorough with, after identification, you should be thorough with the concerned method, which is the correct method to be used, and then integrate. Okay.